Falcon fans, Falcon Nation, we are back talking Falcon football. As always, man, hit that like button, leave a comment if you haven't already. You are listening to Dirty Fanatics United, episode 103, NFC Showdown this Sunday in the Benz. As always, man, we are your Atlanta Falcons content creators bringing you your daily coverage of the Atlanta Falcons. I'm always followed by my co-host, Mr. Philip, right below me, a.k.a. the Bear Hunter this week. Philip is the Bear Hunter this weekend. We're going to get straight to that here in a second. Mr. Robert, a.k.a. Mega Biff, is here tonight to talk Falcon football. And as always, that guy Cody Keeler, a.k.a. Atlanta Falcon PhD, is in the building, boys and girls. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Falcon fans, co-host, how are we feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, especially after last night's win for our high school team. You know, I'm feeling really good. We got the dub last night. Georgia got the win today. Wait, do what? Wait, what did you say?
I think there's a lag going on right here. There's a lag. It's a bad lag going through StreamYard right now.
Well.
So I'm behind you guys.
Y'all can hear me good, right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You got a big Sunday in the Benz. Let's.
What's happening?
Oh, now he's gone.
Oh, man. Can't hear you.
Nope, can't hear you, Chase.
Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties, late minute show.
Please stand by.
But what I was saying, anyway, I'm feeling good about this weekend. You know, Pirates won region champs, so that's good for the hometown. We get first. You know, we get home field advantage first in, the region, and also, home field advantage in playoffs. Georgia won today. Wasn't the prettiest, but it is what it is.
Yep.
And we got a big game coming up tomorrow. So I'm feeling good, confident about it, but, we're gonna get to it.
Hey, man, technical difficulties over on my end. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, man, he's still lagging.
Man, they're trying to keep him off, aren't they?
For real.
Seems that way.
You good now?
I think so. I think we're good now, but we're doing it off the telephone. I'm trying to reboot the laptop now. Falcon fans, bear with us, man. I know this is not professional at all. I can't help the way the laptop's acting. But Robert, obviously, big matchup this Sunday in the Benz against the Dallas Cowboys, an NFC opponent. You've only lost to one NFC opponent, being the Seattle Seahawks. You come off a major win in Tampa Bay. You beat the Bucks. You take sole division of the NFC South. Robert, how big is this game tomorrow, man? And what are we most looking forward to when it comes to game day in the Benz?
It's very big. We've kind of struggled at home this year, and the Cowboys are coming in with some key players injured. We've got to take advantage of it. Just looking for a big game offensively, and hopefully we can get some pressure on Dak. The defense can stand tall, and we can get this win.
Absolutely. A lot at stake when it comes to the matchup tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the Benz. Cody, as always, you're a season ticket holder. So, Cody's always in the building when it comes to these big matchups at home. Defending the Benz is the motto for this week for me, Cody. Cody, what does it mean for Falcon fans to get in their seats and get loud tomorrow afternoon when the Falcons take on a team that has chapters in damn near every city in the U.S.? Cody, what does this game mean tomorrow, man? And how do you get your fans behind this team in the Benz?
Man, this is a big one, like y'all say. You know, this is the second NFC non-division opponent that we've had in our building. Falcon fans, it's big that we get into our seats early. This is Dallas Cowboys. It doesn't matter if they're good, if they're bad, if they suck, which they do right now. They're a bad football team. They're kind of imploding with what's going on. Do not let this be the get right game for them. Do not let this be where they start to figure things out. We have to be in our seats early. Now, the good thing about Falcon fans is when it comes to teams like this, it seems like this is where, our fans show up. When it's against, Steelers, or when it's up against, the Cowboys. So I expect Falcon fans to be there, and I expect Falcon fans to be loud. But this is one that we've got to go get, guys. I mean, hopefully Tampa Bay takes another loss. They're playing Kansas City. You've got Carolina and New Orleans going. That's, right now the way they're playing is going another way. But this is where you take your commanding lead in the NFC South and make that next step to, trying to get into that 1-2 seed where you get that bye week, hopefully getting into the 1 seed. So, you've really got to be careful because Dallas has been embarrassed the last 2 weeks. Do not let this be the get right game. So it is a huge matchup for us tomorrow.
Cody, you bring up an excellent point about do not let this be a get right game. Without Micah Parsons, the first time ever that he's missed 4 games in a row this season, Micah Parsons will not start tomorrow for the Dallas Cowboys. So that's a plus for Caleb McGarry on that side of the ball. You don't have to worry about going up against a matchup like Micah Parsons, a guy that could really implode some damage there in the passing game. So, and then you talk about being behind and losing players. Ezekiel Elliott did not even travel with the team. Reports say that he will not be at tomorrow's game due to disciplinary reasons. So that alone tells me Dalvin Cook will touch the ball a lot more. This being his second game starting, Dalvin Cook possibly looking for a breakout game. So that's another one that you have. That's another name that you have to watch on the wire tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Robert, Phillip, obviously Cody brings great points here when he talks about the Cowboys are a bad team right now, but it is the NFL. Every week is any given team. Whoever comes and brings more aggression that Sunday will be the winner. Phillip, how does the defense set a tone here against a CeeDee Lamb, Terrell coming off of one of his better performances the whole season, Terrell coming off of a really great game here in Tampa Bay against the NFC South opponent. Phillip, how do you set the tone with now an injured Rook Ohurohu that is now on the IR list? You have a new signing, Rashaan Evans, obviously a former familiar face here back in the building. I personally like Rashaan Evans. He was a good depth person when he was here. He even started some games for the Atlanta Falcons. So, Phil, how do you get this pass rush started? This whole conversation is going to bring me back to my next point about Terry being in the kitchen this offseason and in the regular season. But, Phillip, how do you get this pass rush started here in Atlanta against a pretty decent, they say he's one of the highest paid in his position, Dak Prescott. Phillip, how do you stop a Cowboys offense that can have a running quarterback if needed?
Well, if you remember the last home game against Dallas, we recorded 6 sacks. Okay, and the key to that was putting more than one guy that was doing pressure. Okay, we have to have more than at least 1 or 2 guys putting pressure on him. We have to have at least, this is a team that's struggling right now. Offensively, everything. Like, they don't have it together right now. They're just arguing on the sidelines, just don't know what's going on. You have to have everybody cooperate on our defense at this moment. We have to be on the same page. We have to put pressure. We have to, rattle him a little bit, because once he starts that, Dak's like a rookie QB, man. That's fresh out there, man. He don't know what's going on. He's all over the place. We're gonna have to set the tone for pressure. We're gonna have to hit him. We're gonna have to rattle him. Secondary's just gonna have to keep doing what they're doing. They did get torched that one game against Seattle, but it's a new week. Like last week, it was a new week. They showed out. I think it's time for us to bounce back more and more, like we did that against Seattle, or not Seattle, but, like last week against Tampa and everything like that. We have to play big. Mm-hmm. Be the big man, make them quit before you do.
Phillip, we talk about the Falcons struggling, years prior, even this year a little. You haven't really faced a true running quarterback, but Dak Prescott could be that first quarterback that you're facing that is that first true running quarterback. Robert, you talked about it last week. You said you have to contain Dak Prescott in the pocket. You have to get pressure on a guy like Dak Prescott. You cannot allow him to break free on big plays when you're playing man coverage down the field. Robert, how do you prevent that in the Benz, a defense that has been struggling? You've seen it last week against Tampa Bay Buccaneers backup receiving core. The Falcons still struggle to get to Baker Mayfield, even with good coverage in the secondary. So we have to get a pass rush here. Robert, how do you get it started? Is it a Jimmy Lake problem, or is it a scheme problem, or is it a talent problem here in Atlanta? How do you get the pass rush started Sunday?
I think it's just we don't have the right personnel for the 3-4. We've had that issue before. I remember after our Super Bowl run, I can't remember who replaced Richard Smith right off, but started doing more 3-4, and it just seemed like that this scheme just does not fit the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know what it is, but if we're going to get something going, I think Jimmy's got to be aggressive in his play calling early on. We got to attack from the get-go. That's we can't wait, to see what the Cowboys are going to do and react to it. We got to be aggressive early. We got to rattle Dak, and honestly, I think that's the key. And of course, Dak can run. We're going to have to probably call some plays, where we have one guy spying the quarterback at all times.
Right. Yep. And the perfect play style for that, if you want to run a cover one with a floating quarterback spy there, I think if you bring the pressure, like you say, Robert, get aggressive early in this game. If you bring the pressure to Dak Prescott, we've all seen it in the past and now in the present. Dak Prescott does not do too well under pressure. CeeDee Lamb, their chemistry this year has not been quite what it's always been the previous years. But you talk about being aggressive, and Cody, this question's coming to you, brother. You talk about being aggressive on defense side of the ball, Robert, which is a great statement because you do have to be aggressive right out the gate. Cody, that has been a problem all season with the pass rush. Your defense, I was talking with Philip the other day, your defense kept you in the first 3 to 4 games of this season. Your defense was why you won the first 3 to 4 games that you played earlier on in the season. But now it's almost like the Achilles injury is playing on the defense in the second half of football here in the mid-season. Cody, how do you get a pass rush started here in Atlanta to eliminate the deep ball pass to CeeDee Lamb? Because, guys, cornerbacks get beaten. Okay, it's the NFL. AJ Terrell is bound to get beat by CeeDee Lamb at least once in tomorrow's game. To prevent that, you have to get the pass rush. Cody, how do you get that started here in Atlanta?
Yeah, the best way to do that is, like Robert said, you've got to be aggressive to start this game out. Now, this game is going to I feel like it's kind of going to be like our game against the Buccaneers last week. Dallas is coming in hurt. Now, the good news between Dallas and Tampa is that Dallas can't run the football like Tampa can, and that's been our Achilles heel. Now, see, if we can lock down, the I guess decimated, wide receiver core that the Dallas Cowboys are bringing in here tomorrow, if you can lock them down like our secondary has been playing, if you can play like you did against Tampa, you can bring more pressure and you can get Dak Prescott moving around. Yes, we've had problems with scrambling quarterbacks that can move, and Jalen Hurts. And, we struggled a little bit there against Justin Fields. I'll say, but if you can make this Cowboys team one-dimensional to where they're having to throw the ball to CeeDee Lamb to beat us, that works out in our favor because right now Dallas can't run the ball and they can't stop the run. So what you've got to do is you've got to bring pressure early and you've got to get Dak on his butt as soon as you can. And again, that's going to be key on our secondary. It's kind of like my key, last week against Tampa Bay. Make Dak hold the ball a tick longer. Make Dak, look, having to go to read 3, read 4, and then get back there to him. I think it's going to be aggression at this point. It's just you've got to be more aggressive than Dallas. And I think right now, with as banged up as Dallas is, it's something you can do. You just have to bring pressure. If that means you got to put Caden Ellis on the edge and let him kind of bend and twist and him do his things to bring more pressure, do it. You've got to put pressure on Dak Prescott and make them one-dimensional and make them beat you in the air which I don't think they can do because our corners right now are playing really well.
Mhm.
Philip, if you could, while I go to these comments here, Philip, if you could get me the injury report. Do you know any injury report on for the Atlanta Falcons? Who is active tomorrow? Who is inactive? Will we have Justin Simmons back, or will it be another game with Richie Grant? Headed to the comment section while Philip does his math over here. Omnil is in the chat. He said, "Rise up, time to put them cowgirls down." Shout out to Omnil in the chat. He's got a question for us as well, Falcon fans. He says, "So, question for you, Chase." What is the biggest key factor for both sides of the ball to secure the W for tomorrow? We'll start on the defense side of the ball. My co-host here, my absolutely amazing co-host here, man. They've hit every key factor on what I would say the Atlanta Falcons need to do tomorrow to win on the defense side of the ball. You have to get pressure. You have to rattle Dak Prescott. You have got to be in the face of him of all plays because, like I said, CeeDee Lamb is a elite receiver in the NFL for a reason. He can get open. And A.J. Terrell has a good matchup tomorrow with one of the best receivers in the league. So to eliminate that, you have to have the pass rush. You have to get something started. Linebackers must play well because the Cowboys love to dink and dunk to their tight ends. So the linebackers must key in well. I don't know if Troy Anderson is active tomorrow or not. We'll know here shortly. But if Troy's not active, J.D. Bertrand is going to be asked to carry a heavy load tomorrow in Sunday's game. So J.D. Bertrand, the rookie, hopefully he can play a solid game. He's done pretty well filling in for the injured Troy Anderson, taking rotations. Also, Caden Ellis has got a big factor at hand to get to the quarterback if they decide to leave him as a QB spy on Dak Prescott. Defense has got to play all aspects of tomorrow's game. As Cody stated, their run game has not been too great, but something that stands out to me for the Falcons tomorrow on the offense side of the ball, the Cowboys rank in the NFL 26th in yards allowed at 372 yards. That's more than the Atlanta Falcons defense. Okay, our Atlanta Falcons defense has not been too great the past 3 games. The Cowboys rank 26th. So this is a game where you get the run game started and you take the top off on a secondary that has not been so great this whole season. I think Kirko could go for another 300-yard game, possibly 2 touchdowns. Bijan with a couple on the ground. And the Falcons go up and put 30 points up for the 4th time this season in the NFL. I think you have an offense. And listening to a Drake London interview here recently, Drake London said, I feel like the talent's there, the chemistry's there. We're just looking for that missing piece. And whenever we find that missing piece, nobody's going to stop us. The Falcons are progressing every week. Every game they're growing. They're becoming a better team. Play calling getting better every week. I think the Falcons are getting over that hump. They're coming to the mid-season, endish part of the season. It's about to be Thanksgiving, guys. 27 days, I believe it is, until Thanksgiving. So, I mean, you're getting close to playoff football. So if your Falcons can take off hot now and then really grow at the bye week, I think the sky's the limit for this Atlanta Falcons offense. Robert, this question goes to you, and then Philip, if you got the injury report, thumbs up or thumbs down. You good? All right, so Robert, we'll go to you, and then Cody, and then Philip will give us the injury report here.
I think the offense, I think like the defense, we got to be aggressive early on, maybe take some shots, rattle their defense a little bit. And then if we can, build a lead, then we start pounding the rock. Like Cody said, the Cowboys are toward the bottom of the league and stopping the run. We've got 2 good weapons. We got Bijan, we got Tyler. Use them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Use both those running backs. You get Bijan started, you get Tyler Algier started. 2 guys that rush for over 100 yards on the ground this season. So, I mean, absolutely, get the run game started. Like I said, you start with the run game. You wear that big defensive line down, and then you take the top off of them. Cody, your thoughts on Abnul's pretty great question here. Shout out to Abnul. If you got any questions here in the chat, man, leave them. We love to answer them. Cody, go ahead.
Yeah, man, this game's going to be opposite from the Tampa Bay game where I was saying, you got to open up the pass to get your run game going. It's going to be the opposite this week. Get Bijan going, get Tyler going. Both of those guys should have, 10, 15 touches apiece to really start taking the top off, and then you start killing them. With Drake London, start killing them with the passes to Mooney. Get Kyle Pitts involved early,
Yeah.
But really, I think the key to this game is kill them on the ground. You're going to have to kill them on the ground, whether it be Tyler, whether it be Bijan. I expect one of them to have a big game. One of them is going to have 100 yards rushing, two, 3 touchdowns. But that's where you got to do it. You've got to do it on the ground this week because Dallas is hurting bad there. And if you can wear them down with the run and then really start getting it past, get into the pass, and you can get a lead on them, and now they're having to play catch up. And they don't want to do that with us. They don't want to try to go round for round for us because they're not going to last very long. Trying to score with Kirk Cousins the way that he's playing right now. So you've got to get Tyler and you've got to get Bijan started early. Open up that get the running game going. Open up the pass and take the top off that defense. And you should be riding pretty good.
Absolutely. Philip, before we get to you with your stat lines, the Sports Nuts is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Head over to the Sports Nuts, hit the subscribe button. Another podcaster here covers multiple items, not only the Falcons, but hockey, basketball, women's sports, the Sports Nuts. Check them out. Says, I think Atlanta wins this matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 38-20 kind of score. I love it. Another 30-piece in Atlanta in the Benz. Fans are excited. Falcon fans continue to buy tickets. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic says, this is an old school rivalry we need to own. Take down America's so-called team. # rise up. Cody, is Mom's wearing the Falcon jersey tomorrow?
So funny thing, Mom went out and bought a split jersey. She has got a Cowboy / Falcon jersey.
I can deal with that. I can rock with that.
So she'll be there. So Falcon fans, she's with us. So leave her alone.
Atlanta,
but yeah, she's got a split.
Says, I'll be there. I'm trying to lose my voice for this one. Hey, absolutely, bro. We need you there. We need you.
That's
loud.
me every game.
When you leave the Benz tomorrow at 4:30 or whatever time it may be, please leave the building without a voice. The Sports Nuts is in the chat, says this could be the so-called trap game. And it very well could be. That's why I say this is a big game.
I think our trap game was Seattle.
Yeah, 100%. Trap game was Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle was that trap game. Man, I didn't even want to do a podcast after the Seattle game. It was just a rough week. That was just a rough week. I mean, and they even did it on the new Falcons Rise Up episode that came out. They talked about it. I can't remember what player it was. I was laid up on, but they said we came out flat from the start. We was a flat team from the start, and you can't do that in the NFL. You cannot come out flat. Bijan said it himself. It's hard to come back from a 14-point deficit in the NFL. Bijan, the best running back, top 5 running back now ranked in the NFL. So absolutely Sports Nuts. This is a big game, an NFC rival matchup, not a division matchup, but an NFC matchup. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic in the chat says, the Dallas fans travel well also, plus they represent well with fans who live here. They have multiple chapters in each state, man. I'm telling you, the Cowboys have rings to show they have a good travel fan base. So, yes, Falcon fans, get in your seats.
Bandwagons
be loud.
To show.
Be loud. Philip, we have numerous comments here, but before we get to that, give me your stats for or your injury. Yeah, the injury, whatever you want to call it.
Injury report.
Yeah, injury report.
Yeah. Okay. So game report. I'm not going to go based off of what practice was this past week because it's different from what it is right here. From what it's showing here, Justin Simmons is fully active. He's ready to go for Sunday's game.
Let's go.
Questionable. Although they are back in full participation.
Troy Anderson.
Full participation. It is Troy Anderson, Chris Lindstrom, and Drew Dahlman. They're all 3 questionable. They're all 3 questionable. And out for us is JD Bertrand and Ruka Roro.
Bertrand's out too?
He has a
concussion. So we're looking deep on the linebacker depth chart. So you're
getting your other linebacker back. So you fit to have your full 3 starters.
Maybe Troy back. Yes, that's the bright side. That's the bright side to it. But Troy, I need you to play every snap, bro, because I don't want to go to the 3rd string linebacker against the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm looking too far into it. Maybe the Falcons come out here and shock the world tomorrow and put Terry. What's his name? Jerry. Ain't that the Cowboys owner?
Jerry Jones.
Quit it, Jerry.
Put him back on his private jet with a big fat L and take it back to Dallas. The Sports Nut says, if y'all look, Lamb isn't happy. He isn't trying much anymore. The chemistry between him and Dallas is pretty much done. It's been
Good.
pretty rough for them over there. I've seen it on the sideline. I've seen the clips, the viral videos of CD and Dak on the sideline, not looking too happy with each other. So anytime there's a chemistry mess up, there's always a room for error. So the Falcons need to take advantage of it tomorrow. Get pass rush on Dak Prescott and prevent those deep plays to CD Lamb. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic in the chat said the pass rush has to get Dak under pressure, but keep him contained. Contrary to belief, Dak can make plays with his legs if given the op. We talked about it, Atlanta Falcon Fandemic. We talked about it. He is a running quarterback when needed, and he can be deadly in the run game. That's why you may have to run a QB spot tomorrow. Robert mentioned it earlier. You may have to run a cover one, a cover two man with a QB spy at all times. You never know. So I'm sure Jimmy Lake has done his homework, and I hope he has a game plan for tomorrow against one of the not higher offensive offensive receivers. They haven't been too great this season, as well as the Falcons rank at number 7 in the NFL in offense. The Cowboys.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing for the Falcons. If Dak Prescott is going to be the Cowboys' best rusher tomorrow, and you start popping him, he takes off. You're going to make those legs tired. You're going to make him mentally tired. You're going to get it to where he starts making mistakes, where he starts throwing interceptions. So if Dak wants to be the best runner on the Dallas Cowboy team tomorrow, I'm all for that. Yeah, he may gash us a little bit. He may take off, 15, 20 yards here and there. But I guarantee you, if you put bodies on him and wear him out, because he doesn't have a running back stable like we do to rely on when the game gets late. Now, Dak is going to get tired if he's going to be the one running the football. So that's not necessarily a bad thing for the Falcons. You just have to limit and keep him out of the end zone.
Yep.
Absolutely. Chat is going crazy tonight, DFU. Chat is showing out tonight. April Thomas is in the chat. Said, what up, everyone? April, what's going on, man? Appreciate you tuning in. Hit that like button. Leave a comment if you haven't already, because you obviously did. Leave a question here for DFU. The Sports Nut is in the chat. Said, yeah, here we go. And we need to sack Dak every time, man. Got to sack Dak every time. The Sports Nuts is in the chat. Says, scheme, the 3-4 isn't the best formation.
Nope.
DFU hasn't been a fan.
Overall, I will say I like it better for a 3-4, but for us, it does, at the moment, it's not fitting for us. I personally will say I like the 3-4 better than a 4-3, but for us at the moment, it does not fit.
Let's look at it for a second, and I could bring the stats up, but we don't have the time for that tonight. My Wi-Fi is acting crazy, so we'll talk about it. The Atlanta Falcons ranked top 10 the previous seasons with Arthur Smith and not Jimmy Lake, Ryan Nielsen in Atlanta. They were top 10 running at 4-3. You brought in players for defense, but you've kept a lot of similar faces that were on a 4-3 defense that ran a 4-3 scheme, and now you switched them into their first year of a 3-4. I'm not saying in the long run Jimmy Lake doesn't come in here and establish a top 10 defense with a 3-4. Falcon fans have to remember this is a first year Jimmy Lake in Atlanta. This is a first year Zach Robinson in Atlanta. This is a first year Raheem Morris in Atlanta. There's going to be hiccups with this team all season long. This is a growth. This isn't I don't know how I should say it. This isn't a team that's going to come out and just hit every cylinder every time. But I think this team can be that by playoff season. I think this team can be a team that could be just no misfires, just straight fire every play like they were in 2016. This team was, the offense was rolling that year, guys, putting 30 to 40 points up on teams like it wasn't nothing in the third quarter. You've seen the backups numerous times in 2016. You've seen the backups way more that season than you've seen any other season in Atlanta.
I think that's the most backups I've seen make plays more than any other team ever.
Yeah,
I'm just being honest.
Matt Ryan held a record that year for the most touchdowns to multiple people.
I think it was
that with just starters on the field.
19 receivers.
EQRC in the chat said, hello, Falcon fans. EQ, glad to see you in the chat, brother. Hit that like button. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic said, definitely not a talent problem. You're exactly right. The talent is in the building. The scheme is just not fitting, I believe.
At the moment, yeah, for sure.
Alberto Molina in the chat said, fellas, what's good? How about them Atlanta United winning at home, forcing a Game 3 LFG? Now let's get this dub against the Cowboys. Albert, correct me if I'm wrong, but they faced a really, really good opponent there, and I believe it's Messi.
Yep.
Was it Messi that came to town and took the L? I told the lady I told the wife, she's a big soccer fan. I told her Messi was going to come to Atlanta and hold that L. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic in the chat said, "What's good, EQRC?" The Sports Nuts said, "Run a Tampa 2 with a QB spy." We talked about it here, man.
Yeah.
Cover 2 man, Tampa 2, whatever you want to run. But fill those zones. Fill those zones. Don't leave no big plays open in the zones. Matthew Judon has to get on his game with the rush. Philip, we talked about it,
bro.
We talked about the holding, but he is right, man. You traded for Philip. You traded for him. You gave up picks for Matthew Judon. You want to see a little more production, but that also comes with pressure from other parts of the field. You cannot expect Judon to do it by itself. Obviously, AK getting a lot of playing time, showing some progression there. AK getting to the quarterback, just not making the sacks as he's always done. But there's been some breaking news about the Atlanta Falcons, and we're going to talk about it here on the podcast because there's a lot of rumors floating around about the Falcons trading for a potential pass rusher. It's been rumors. Falcons have talked about it. They've linked multiple people, even talked about reuniting with Campbell, Calais Campbell. Falcon fans, let me know how you feel about a Calais Campbell reuniting here in Atlanta in the comment section. And then there's also been some new names here that's popped up here recently. Philip, if you want to take it away, brother, read that comment there. Actually, that's the one I posted. This is the one you sent. Read that for me.
From Schefter himself, Falcons are aggressive in pursuit for pass rusher connected to Giants Aziz. I can't even say his last name.
Is it Ajobi or something like that?
That is not Ajobi, but it's I can't say his name. He was linked to Georgia.
Ojulari. Giants Aziz Ojulari.
Oz.
Aziz Ojulari. I think we're slaughtering the man's name, but this is a dominant pass rusher here in the NFL.
Just without the Z at the end. Aziz.
Aziz? Okay. Aziz.
Yeah, I can't think of the last name, but yeah.
Ojulari is what we're going to call him here, man. So, Falcon fans, you may get that pass rush. Robert, Cody, you've seen the rumors going around. Possible Calais Campbell, Aziz, the guy we just slaughtered his name. Robert, Cody, y'all's thoughts on this guy here. Would this be a good trade fit for Atlanta? Could this make this right here? If the Falcons go out and trade for a pass rush, this tells me they're going all in. They're going all in. They think this is the year that the Falcons could be the Super Bowl champs or the NFC, at least make it back to the Super Bowl. This is a move to me that shows the Atlanta Falcons want to win it all this season. Robert, Cody, your thoughts?
I think it would be a good trade if the price isn't too high. Obviously, the Giants are garbage. They're not going anywhere. And who knows, they may take a bargain basement price for them. They're going to be in rebuild mode again. I think Brian Daboll's on his last leg with them. And, if we can pry him away from the Giants, obviously it's a win-win for us. As far as Calais coming back, again, if the price is right, his veteran leadership alone would be worth a trade to bring him back. We shouldn't let him go to begin with, but Terry runs the show. We don't. And, that's why he's making the big bucks and we're not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cody, your thoughts on Falcons possibly making a trade here and what it means that the Falcons potentially think this is a team that could go pretty deep here in the playoffs. Cody, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, the Calais Campbell thing, as much as I would like to have him stay, I think, I think Aziz here is probably a better choice than Calais Campbell. This is probably the one shining spot that the New York Giants have is this guy because I've heard this say, I can't say his last name either, save my life. But you hear his name a lot when you watch a Giants game. Not that any of us really do much of that, but he's definitely a bright spot on the Giants for them. So I think that would be the route that I would go before I go for Calais Campbell. I think Calais Campbell he's a great player, and like I say, if he came back, I'm not upset at all as long as you get him back for the right price. Couple $1 million maybe, and maybe like a 4th, 5th round pick, I guess. I'm okay with that, but I definitely rather have Aziz got this guy out of New York. I've seen him play a little bit. He's definitely a dominant pass rusher. So if you can get him for the right price too, maybe get him 2 years, give up, a 3rd round, whatever you got to do to get a pass rush in here. Man, just at this point, I don't care what you got to do. Go get another edge rusher. Go get somebody that can go get the quarterback on the ground. I think Judon's doing I know he hasn't had the sacks, guys, but Judon's doing his job. I mean, it's hard to miss him with those red sleeves. Now, I know he's going to the dark grays this week, supposedly, which is big news. Maybe that'll make a difference, change the sleeve color, but I think Judon's done a great job while he's been here, man. It's just he gets held a ton. I've watched that, and I think that is one of the most I'm not a big complainer when it comes to stuff, but in our group chat, man, I think every week I have said something about how atrocious the holding on Judon is. And it's because he's getting that pressure. So if you can get another guy on the opposite side of Judon and really get that pass rush going to where, hey, you're not able to, even if you're holding Judon, you've got somebody else on the other side, getting the kind of pressure that Judon is getting even when being held. It's just going to improve this team because, let's be honest, guys. Like, if you look at this team from top to bottom, this is a team that is very capable of returning to the NFC Championship game and getting back into the Super Bowl and winning it. I would put this team up against, we went toe-to-toe with the defending champions. We should have won that game, but because of a penalty that, wasn't called, we don't win that game. I'm not scared of anybody in the NFL right now. This Falcon team is playing really good playoff football. They're being tested, and they're coming out on top on some of these games that good teams win. We're winning games that good teams should win, and that's what we're doing. So if you can get any of these, if you can get another edge rusher, help Judon out, maybe it frees up Grady, frees up everybody else on the street, whoever is playing on the D line at the time. It would be huge. So I think that's, kind of the one piece that we're missing. If you can get that here, the NFL better watch out, man, because this Falcon team's coming with their hair on fire.
Absolutely. This game tomorrow is a big game. And like EQR says, everybody's saying this is their get-right game. And we cannot let them walk in Atlanta and let this be their get-right game. We need to send every Cowboy fan that's in that building home with an L with their face down as they walk out of the Benz tomorrow in Atlanta. EQRC says, why is that when Falcons play a big-name team, even if they suck? Probably a typo there, man. I didn't quite understand it. Atlanta Falcons Pandemic says, Troy Anderson, Chris Lindstrom, and Drew Dahlman, Rook, and JD are definitely a no-go. This is a problem to me, Atlanta Falcons Pandemic, because if you're without a Chris Lindstrom and a Drew Dahlman, you're starting center, you're starting guard. This Cowboys defense has 12 to 13 sacks on the season already. So you have to be able to protect Kirk Cousins. You cannot let them bang up Kirk Cousins all day. So with Phillips' injury report, if they are questionable, they haven't been ruled out. Hopefully we have at least a Chris Lindstrom because our backup Ryan Nielsen has done Ryan Newzil has done pretty nice at the center spot. I don't know if Matt Hennessy is a go tomorrow or not, but Matt Hennessy is another one that can play center that's pretty solid in the run game at center. So anytime you're without your starting center, it's always a disadvantage to your offense because that is your most peculiar spot there on that offense to me is that center. You got to have a great play there between the quarterback and center. So hopefully Atlanta Falcon Pandemic, I hope that you're wrong. You may not be. I'm not saying you are, but God, I hope you're wrong. Abnu in the chat says the Benz need to have the loudest "Here we go" when Dak is on the field. Get in that man's head tomorrow. Falcons Pandemic says Kirk Cousins over 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Run game 175, 200 rushing yards, and 2 touchdowns. Falcons for the win. I love it. Dude. I'm going to say, yeah, they signed Rashaan Evans to the 53-man roster. Let's talk about that real quick. What did you guys think about the Rashaan Evans signing? I like Rashaan Evans here in Atlanta in his previous tender when he ran with Arthur Smith. Robert, we'll start with you and then go around the table. Rashaan Evans, familiar face back in Atlanta. How do you feel about it?
I feel good about it. We definitely need that extra body out there right now with all the injuries we've had. And, he's familiar with Atlanta. He's, familiar with the Falcons organization. Just get him on the field, see what he can do.
Absolutely. Cody, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, it's always good to have another body out there, with what's going on. So just man, I'm glad to see him back. Just go out and do your job, man. I would say that's all we need you to do. I'm not expecting you to be a world breaker. Just go out and do your job. And welcome back to Atlanta, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Philip, your thoughts of Rashawn Evans making a reunited here in Atlanta?
Oh yeah, I mean it's just like what both of them said. He's familiar with Atlanta, familiar with Raheem. Everything. From the past, he brought great energy to the team. Even when he didn't really play, he still brought the energy. It was just the hype, and that's what guys feed off of is the energy, everything. He's familiar with everything, and if he has to step up, just step up, do your job. Just like Cody said, don't expect you to be perfect, but just do your job. And that's all I ask.
Absolutely. Abnul, appreciate the comment, brother. EQRC says, I've heard Ezekiel Elliott, running back for Dallas, is not making the trip. No, he is not. It's a disciplinary action. Dalvin Cook, I expect, shall be their number one running back tomorrow. So no Ezekiel Elliott in Atlanta. He says, hey, I haven't found anything. Is Natron Brooks officially active for us?
He was brought up to the roster, but I'm
He'll
not
be
sure
a
if he's
special.
actually active.
He'll be to me, I think that'll be more of a special team action. He's probably going to be a rotational piece, if anything, but I think look for him on a special team or something like that.
What's his name being hurt still? He's being brought up, and I think he has been active. Just I think it's been on just sideline at the moment. Just to be ready. You know what I mean? If something does happen, but we'll see though.
Wallace Smith in the chat said, what's good, fam? I'm catching y'all late, and we need to go get this win tomorrow. Wallace, appreciate you tuning in, brother. Hit that like button. Wallace Smith said, Natron Brooks is mainly for playing on special teams. There it is. Another comment. Natron Brooks is a great special team player. He done pretty well in preseason playing special team and a couple snaps that he got. Wallace Smith said, they're playing more nickel defense than they are traditional 3-4 base defense. Whatever it is they're doing, and it ain't working. Yes, we did win, but, man, you let Tampa hang around. I know it was an NFC South divisional opponent, but there's been numerous games, man. This defense just has not been clicking to where they need to be at. EQ said Aziz is the linebacker we need. I agree with that trade. A fourth-round pick gets him. Sheesh. That'd be nice if you could get him for a fourth round. That would be sweet. Wallace thinks it's just rumors, and I don't see them trading for an edge rusher before the trade deadline. It may not happen. It may not. That's our question here for the show. Could the Atlanta Falcons make that move for a pass rusher? I talked to a guy today, and he asked me, was the Falcons trading for a pass rusher? And I told him that the Falcons probably would. And I may be wrong, but I don't think the Falcons pull the trigger on a trade. But they may. I could be 100% wrong, and they may shock the world and go get that trade.
I think we should, but I don't think we will.
I think we should as well, Philip. I think if you get some pass rush here in Atlanta, this team could get on the right path. I really do. Atlanta Falcons Fandemic said Javon Clowney is a no-go for me. Run for that option. I don't really expect the Falcons to trade for Clowney. I don't see that happening either.
I'm not really hyped about him anyway.
We can only hope a trade is made or believe that is a waste of season. Sheesh, don't say that, EQ. We will make the playoffs, but 1-and-out if our defense doesn't improve. Defense wins championship. Well, let's talk about that, EQ, because 2016, we didn't have a good defense. We didn't have a great defense.
We had an average
defense. We did lose the Super Bowl that year, but our offensive play calling lost us that game. So, I mean, yes, defenses do win championships, but a high-empowered offense can win you games in the NFL. If you can put up the 38, if you put up 35 points in an NFL game, more than likely you're going to win. If you can and the Falcons have put 30 points up numerous times this season. So that's why I say if you go get that pass rush, man, you could make some damage here. But I don't agree with you there, EQ. I don't think it's a waste of season. I think the Falcons have talent in the building that can make something happen. Wallace Smith said in the chat, he says they are not trading Aziz with their other starting edge rushers still being injured. And that could be possible. That could be possible. You got to look at, the thing is, also, what are the Patriots? He plays for the Patriots, correct?
Giants.
Who's he play for?
Giants.
The Giants. What is the Giants' record? What is their
Garbage.
what is their division? Where do they rank in their division? Because this may be
They're
a
deadly.
Carolina Panther in that division. So I'm saying this may be a team that's getting fully ready for a rebuild. So they'll take what they can get now while teams are offering for a player
They're
they may
dead
not
last.
get as much
6.
for in the offseason. Yeah, so I mean, this guy, his trade value is only going to decrease as the offseason comes up because better pass rushers will be available, and other teams will fill those needs. So if they can get what they want now for teams that are trying to make a playoff push, where they're really trying to get this player brought in, I can see the Giants selling because their quarterback is.
I mean,
not
he is
really
on
who
the
they
trade
need.
block, so I mean,
He is on a trade block, so they're entertaining the idea of it. He said they tried to re-sign Calais. This is true, but he wanted to go back home and play in Miami. He did do that. While it says Lindstrom's playing, Dahlman is out for this game. So Lindstrom, glad to have Lindstrom on the field. That is a major to me because Chris Lindstrom does amazing things for this offense. I'm sure we all three could agree to that.
Lindstrom was
Chris
he was
Lindstrom is a
goat.
goal.
Dahlman was the one that was questionable.
Well, Ryan
Same with Troy.
Ryan Newziel has played in games this season where the Falcons have passed for over. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was Ryan Newziel the center for the Tampa Bay game where Kirk Cousins went over 500 yards?
He came in that game, yes.
Yeah, he came in.
Yeah, so a guy that has done numerous things here this season for the team. He stepped up big time for Kirk Cousins in the passing game. He's been in plays where we've ran the ball. So Ryan Newziel has a little bit of chemistry there with Kirk Cousins. So the Dahlman thing hurts, but maybe not as bad as it would have hurt to have a Chris Lindstrom out against a defense that averages in double-digit sacks every season. Mactown Dirty is in the chat, says, what's up, fellas? Mactown Dirty, appreciate you tuning in, man. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Wallace Smith said Evans was a good signing with Bertrand out with a concussion. Troy is still being out also. Troy Anderson has missed too many damn plays here in Atlanta, dude. Why is Troy Anderson missing so much time since we've drafted him? Can we speak on that for a minute? Does this worry you guys at all with Troy Anderson so young but so injured throughout his career?
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, you know what I mean? It's I don't know how to. I just don't know how to. You know what I mean? I don't know what to say or like because I'm not trying to down him or anything because he can't be that linebacker. We've seen it before, but like it's just it don't make sense why I get that why he's missed the games. It's just I don't what I mean. At the same time, I'm just like how or why. You know what I mean?
Atlanta Falcons fan brings out a good stat here. I forgot about this stat. Rashaan Evans was the leading tackler. It wasn't last season. He wasn't with us last season, but one of those years prior, he was the leading tackler for the Atlanta Falcons. Rashaan Evans.
I want to say it was 2020.
He's done nice things here, man. It's been a couple of years back, but Rashaan Evans he's a good seasoned veteran that can still make a pop play here and there. Rashaan Evans, he's a good linebacker. I'm glad with that signing. Wallace says, I think we're going to roll with what we have on defense and make do for this season. He also said Newziel has stepped up and done a good job with Dahlman being out. That's 100%. Yeah. Dahlman, Ryan Newziel has done good things here since Dahlman has been hurt. Definitely agree to that. Robert, Cody, Phillip, obviously we do it every pregame show. Obviously we're not playing tonight. We was going to try to do it in the morning, but things popped up for me, so we did a late night show here tonight. We will be live after the Falcons play tomorrow at home. As soon as Cody gets to the house, he's got to make that drive home. But as soon as Cody gets home from the game, we'll make sure all of us is ready to go, and we'll talk Falcon football. But Robert, we'll start with score prediction and hot takes here on DFU for what is this now? Week 9? Is this week 8? Week 9? Week 9 in the NFL. Damn. Robert, score predictions for week 9 and maybe a hot take for the offense or defense because Robert did hit last week, guys. The 2 tutties for Kyle Pitts. Robert called it. Hot takes for tonight or for tomorrow's game and score prediction, Robert.
My hot take is on the defensive side of the ball, and it goes to our coordinator, Jimmy Lake. He's got to be aggressive with his scheme. He's got to attack, and I think we do that. And I see on the offensive side of the ball, run heavy. ball control, but I do think that we break the 30-point barrier. I'm calling a Falcon win, 31-21.
Absolutely, a 10-point dub in Atlanta. Your Falcons go from 5-3 to 6-3 for the first time since 2016. That just rhymes, guys. That just sounded good together, man. Falcons come on top, going 6-3. Cody, score prediction and hot take. Robert, I love the hot take because if Jimmy Lake gets the hot take, that means we're cooking tomorrow. We're definitely busting the 30 points. Cody, your thoughts on your hot take and a score prediction here for your Atlanta Falcons win.
Yeah, so score prediction. I think we get the ball rolling early in the run. I think our defense takes one more step. I think we find a way to get Dak Prescott on the ground. I think this one will be close for a little while. And then I think we pull away and we win this game 35-20. Hot take tomorrow. Tyler Algier goes off. Tyler runs for 150 and has 3 tugs.
Shit.
Nice. I love it.
Good God. Good gracious. Philip, hot take for tomorrow. Obviously, some good hot takes already here from Cody and Robert. But what would your hot take be, and what would your score prediction be here? Chat, let me know your score predictions before you head out. Score predictions for tomorrow's game.
Hot take. I'm gonna start with the hot take first. Hot take is Bijan and Tyler Algier is gonna both run together for 200 yards.
Another
100 each. 100 yards each.
Love it.
And we're going to win this game 31-23. And that is not a prediction, people.
Okay.
That is a spoiler.
Okay.
That's a spoiler.
Yeah, right with it. 3 dubs from all 3 DFU co-hosts here. We'll check the chat here before I get to my prediction. Wallace Smith says 34-24, your Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons Pandemic says, great shows, guys. Chat, I'll see you soon. Don't forget to hit those like buttons. Hit that like button. Atlanta Falcons Pandemic, glad to have you here in the chat. EQRC says, just win, baby. Just get there. He says, Troy is great chasing down run plays and decent sideline to sideline coverage, though. He is a bust. I agree, Atlanta Falcons Pandemic.
100%.
I agree. Wallace says, but I do think they're going to have to address the MLB spot next season because we don't have a good coverage linebacker, but they're good against the run. You're right. You don't have the passing coverage that you need in linebackers. You do have the speed, the good run, but you don't have that good pass coverage in linebacker spot. Atlanta Falcons Pandemic says 38-20 final score. Oh, by the way, Kirk Cousins will have 20 yards rushing. Sheesh. Kirko with the 20 piece on the ground.
Go.
Philip with the fat head. Philip with the fat head. My score prediction. I'm gonna give you a score prediction, then I'm gonna close this thing out with a really nice hot take. Score prediction: the Atlanta Falcons take the dub, 32-26. Your Atlanta Falcons win, go 6-3. Your hot take, and I only wear this jersey when it's a hot take because I had the signature on it, guys. So it has to stay right here on the. And it's actually like a good luck thing now because Falcons have won in at the past prior times that I've wore it. The Pirates just put a significant dub. Shout out to the hometown, Baxley, Georgia, region champs. Wore this to the game last night. Falcons, the Pirates come off on top. So I'm going to say Bijan Robinson for 120 yards on the ground tomorrow. And another hot take for you. Kirk Cousins throws for 3 touchdowns. It is no longer Kirktober, but Philip, you brought something up in the chat over there as well.
Thanksgiving.
It's Kirksgiving in November, baby. Kirk Cousins goes for 3 touchdowns. Philip with a nice dude. We gotta get over with that. Kirksgiving. That's tough.
Kirksgiving.
That's tough, man. So your Falcons, obviously, all 4 of us come away with the score prediction as a W in the Falcons' favor, as always, which it always will be. So Falcon fans, appreciate you all in the comment sections. We're getting ready to close this show out. Episode 103 is now officially in the books, man. Racking up these shows, man. Racking them up for you Falcon fans. Robert, we'll start with you. Shout outs for tonight, brother. And obviously, we'll catch you tomorrow afternoon after the game.
Well, shout out to you guys for letting me be a part of this. Love doing it. Appreciate the opportunity and appreciate you guys thinking of me. Shout out to our viewers and everybody that commented. Without you guys, this isn't possible. We appreciate it. Shout out to the Falcons. We gotta get this W tomorrow, and to the crowd that's going to be at the Benz, bring the energy. The team feeds off of it. We've been struggling at home a little bit. We need you guys to show up and be loud. And shout out to Brianna, Peyton, Zach, and Christy. Love y'all. Rise up.
Rise up, Robert. Rise up. Cody, shout outs for tonight, brother. Glad you both, Robert, Cody, Phillip, glad all three of you were able to pop up on tonight's pop-up show here. It was not it was kind of planned, but we could not agree on a time because I got busy. Phillip was on the game losing at Fortnite, and I was like, Phillip, get off the game, dude.
Time out.
Time to run a podcast.
I ain't lost a game, but maybe 2 or 3 today, so slow your roll.
Hey, Phillip, shout outs for tonight, brother. Glad to have you here on episode 103. Shout outs for tonight.
You gonna skip Cody?
Did I skip Cody? Cody, shout outs for tonight, brother.
You got it.
No, I was actually doing like an X, telling the Cowboys.
There, yes, like a cross there. I'll say, yeah, shout out to you guys, for doing a show. It's always good to cut it on here and talk Falcon football. I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm going to make sure that Mom has the best time watching me celebrate our Falcons kicking the crap out of the Cowboys. No, I'm just kidding. Like Robert said, Falcon fans, be there early, be there, and be loud. Do not let them take over this stadium. I know they travel well. I know they think that they're special. They're not.
They are
Falcon
special.
fans, we own that stadium. Let them know that this is Atlanta, that you cannot come into our house and take over. This is our house. So, with that being said, you guys, it's been great talking Falcon football with y'all. Everybody that's commenting, watching the show, man. It's always great to see people interacting. Like Robert said, without y'all, it's just 4 guys talking Falcon football. And, even though there's nothing wrong with that and we love doing it and we'd probably do it, we just keep it in our group chat. But, it's great to put out content for, other Falcon fans and all that stuff. But, guys, shout out to the Falcons. Go out and handle your business. Just go do your job. That's all you got to do tomorrow. Go handle business. Get that tighter grip on the NFC South. Make your way up towards that number 1 spot. We'll worry about Detroit and taking back our spot and our rightful spot for the playoffs and for our Super Bowl run. But other than that, guys, rise up.
Rise up,
Yes,
rise
sir.
up. Phillip, a.k.a. the Bear Hunter, shout outs for tonight, brother. Look at the trophy, bro. Look at that trophy.
Nice.
Shout out
sir.
for tonight, man.
Shout out to my God, man. He's doing some big things, man. We blessed to be here another day. It's opportunity here to do this. Shout out to the Pirates. We are region champs. 3 years of whooping the Bears ass.
cannons
3
off.
years straight. Boom, boom. We bring the boom, baby. It's 3 years straight. 3 years in a row. Region champs. It's nice, man. Shout out to the Dirty Birds, man. Let's get this. Let's get this win tomorrow. Rise up, baby, and Florida sucks.
Shit. Absolutely, man. Shout out real quick before we get to the Falcon shout outs and the podcast shout out. Shout out to the Appleton County Pirates, baby, because you have now 3-peated region champs in the AA Region 3.
3-peat. Your
Baby.
biggest up.
Yeah, man. The same school
all
that
right.
Stetson Bennett, the Georgia Bulldog, graduated from. The Appleton County Pirates have beat them 3 years in a row, man. Shout out to that.
For everyone that don't know, the Pierce County Bears to us is like the Saints.
The Saints, no doubt.
Like
No
our high
doubt.
school. It's 100%. It's mean. It's gritty. Like it's just.
It's
you
the
feel
next
animosity
county.
when you
It's the
walk
next
in
county
there.
over. It's like a 15-20 minute drive to the next county.
You just
Pierce
feel
versus
the
Baxter.
you just feel the hate and the animosity when you walk in your own stadium.
Yeah,
It's-
it's crazy, bro. It's a crazy
Like
high
the thrill
school
though.
matchup.
We own them, so it is what it is.
Shout out to my co-host,
Our
man,
pet-
for
our
making
pet
it
Cubs.
tonight. Shout out to everybody in the comment section, man. Y'all really keep the show rocking because I sat there and read 15 minutes worth of comments. So shout out to everyone that commented tonight, tuning in on this late night show. It is now 10:30, and you guys are still rocking with us here in the live chat. Hit that like button, man. Leave a subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the road to 1K, man. We're at 448, I believe it is, before the podcast started. So leave a subscribe, man. If we can hit that 500 mark here soon, we'll be halfway to 1K, our goal, and we'd be greatly appreciated of it, man. As we grow,
keep going there.
As we grow, we can be as we grow, we're gonna bring more content to you guys. So it's not only a growth thing for us, but as the channel grows, we'll be able to do more things as a podcast content wise. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you like what we do. It's free. It's no charge. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and ring the bell if you haven't already. If you're a DFU daily, ring that bell. I don't know if it's here, or here, but ring the bell.
It'll be down below.
And get daily notifications of when DFU is live or when we drop content, so you guys can leave a like or a comment. I challenge every non-live viewer here right now that's in this podcast to tag a Falcon friend that does not know about DFU. Tag a Falcon friend because we're going to be doing giveaways here very soon, and that's how you will be entered into the raffle. It is by tagging a friend. Tagging a friend and being subscribed to the channel is how you're entered into the raffle. So be sure to stay tuned to DFU. Hit that subscribe button. If you're watching after the live video, if you're catching this tomorrow before the game, leave your comment on your score prediction because I love going back and commenting. Falcon fans.
Leave your score prediction and then down below, put in the comment section. Happy Kurtzgiving. We're gonna start that. That's gonna be a
hashtag.
Happy Kurtzgiving.
Kurtzgiving in the comment section.
We're gonna make it a
Falcon
thing.
Fans, it's been a great show here tonight. As always, man. NFC Showdown in the Benz tomorrow at 1:00. Episode 103. Is in the books, man. As always, shout out to my Lord and Savior. Shout out to my wife in the other room with the 2 kids. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. Shout out to all the Falcon fans that are in the Benz tomorrow. Right. Get rowdy, get loud, and be proud, baby, because we're moving to 6-3 tomorrow. As always, man, A-Town down, rise up. We out of here, man.